So I welcome you all again to today's session, wherein we are going to have an insight about National Education Policy 2020. That is NEP 2020. That is what we will be calling this from now on. Good morning to everyone present here. I welcome you all to today's session. This is Ruxana, and I am going to take you through the process of trying to make you understand everything about NEP 2020. Not everything, at least a few things about NEP 2020. And yes, as Albert Einstein said, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. This is what our NEP 2020 actually took into consideration. That's what I would say. Right. NEP 2020, an overview. Just quickly look at the overview of NEP 2020. It stands for National Education Policy, and it was approved by the Union Cabinet on 29th of July 2020, and it is going to replace the previous National Policy on Education, 1986. And we are going to follow NEP 2020 from now onwards. Vision. So the vision of NEP 2020. See, NEP 2020 envisions on education system rooted in Indian ethos, and the students, whoever are studying, develop a respect for the constitution and ultimately make India a global relevance. That is what NEP 2020 envisions for. And let's quickly have a look at the key principles of NEP 2020. Diversity, inclusion, and local content, equality, community participation, conceptual understanding, critical thinking, creativity, continuous reviews of the performance of the kids. These are the key principles that NEP 2020 is focusing upon. Now, let us quickly have a look at the special features of NEP 2020. What exactly are something special that NEP 2020 is going to get for us? Experiential learning. Focus on experiential learning, inquiring and discovery-based teaching techniques, methods, and integrated pedagogy, arts, sports, storytelling, and ICT, that is our computers, would be integrated along with the subjects. Promotion of peer tutoring. This we can do once we are back to school, wherein students will be able to guide their friends under the supervision of the children. This is one thing which NEP actually wants to a kind of enhance upon, I could say, because that is where the students can interact with each other and try to know each other, how exactly the other person is studying or how exactly the other person is able to understand the concepts. So that is the reason it is promoting peer tutoring. Equal weightage will be given to curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities. All these days it was like arts, science, and there was a focus on only a few main subjects. That focus is going to be distributed now. There will be no hard separation, and everything would be put together, and there will be a freedom. I'm very specifying this. There will be, this is going to take a while. Freedom of choosing a variety of subject combinations. That also is one of the plans of NEP 2020. And 10 bagless days are to be introduced in the academic calendar, and use an integration of technology like in pedagogy from classes 6 to 12 is being planned upon. Experiential learning, actually speaking, we have been doing it. Like, when the child experiences, they try to understand it more better because they get concrete experience on it, and they can observe and reflect to what actually they have learned, and they form abstract concepts and then testing it in new situations. For example, if I take a small example, seed, how a plant evolves. When it comes to class 3, when we are in school, we actually do with the child. Now it is not possible in online classes, I do understand. But how actually a seed evolves into a plant, this is experiential learning, and we have been doing it already, and NEP is concentrating on that part right now. Competency-based education. Competency-based education, the term seems a bit tricky, but the outcome, whatever the learning outcome, depending on that, the teaching will be there. Like we are doing that, the children are being assessed multiple times, and wherever they are lagging, we will be trying to, concentrate on that particular topics wherever the child is lagging, or the multiple children, students are lagging. That is competency based education, where the output will be taken into consideration when we are teaching, when the teachers are teaching. The other one is skill based education. Actually, as I said, like multiple combination of subjects can be selected. The same way skill based education will be introduced in high schools, where they can have some hands on experience in future. Or not only they concentrate on only subjects, but also other things as well, that will be coming to effect slowly, and the child can actually select a particular skill that he or she likes. It all takes time, but yes, that is one of the points that NEP 2020 wants to concentrate upon. And the outcomes of NEP, the main the main outcome that NEP actually is targeting for is curtailing dropout rates and ensuring universal access to education for all. This is the main outcome that NEP is trying to concentrate upon. Along with that, the other outcome that NEP wants to concentrate upon, or NEP is concentrating upon, is 21st century skills. This term again seems new, but let me tell you, this is not anything new. We have been, we already know about it, and somewhere or the other, we have been implementing this in our classes as well. Like learning skills is a part of 21st century skills. Literacy skills is a part of 21st century skills, and life skills. Like in learning skills, the 4 C's, like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. And when it comes to literacy skills, information, media, technology, inclusion of all these things in our schooling. Life skills are flips, flexibility, leadership, initiative, taking the initiative of something, productivity, and social communication, or social gathering. Like our students, they go together and learn together. That is one of the things that NEP is concentrating upon. The new structure of NEP, as just discussed, always contains learning and teaching assessment, and it will be competency based. The assessment will always be depending on the learning and teaching. The teaching will always depend on the assessment and learning, and the learning will always depend on the teaching. So all these are competency based. That is the new structure that this NEP 2020 proposes upon. And let us have a quick look at the new academic structure of NEP 2020. What exactly is the structure that NEP 2020 is planning upon? It is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, this is like a code word right now, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So these stages, these are the stages that NEP has divided into, like foundational course, foundational stage, that is of 5 years. Then we have the preparatory stage, which is of 3 years. Then we have the middle stage, which is of 3 years. And then we have the secondary stage, which is of 4 years. Let us quickly look at all these stages and have a little better understanding of what exactly is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 that NEP is proposing. Fundamental stage is basically in 2 parts, like 3 years of preschool and 2 years in primary school, that is class 1 and 2. And this fundamental stage covers the age group from 3 years to 8 years, with the flexibility, multi-level, activity-based learning, and it also includes the pedagogy of early childhood care and education. Here, Anganwadi, preschools, all these come into the first part, and 1 and 2 come into the later part of the fundamental stage. Then comes our preparatory stage, and this is stage where grade 3 to 5 are included, and it covers the ages from 8 years to 11 years, and it introduces experiential learning across the science, math, art, social, and humanities. So look at the various things that they want to concentrate upon. And then comes the middle stage. Middle stage includes grade 6 to 8, covering the age group of 11 years to 14 years with a subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular system. The fourth stage is again divided into two different phases. That is, 9th and 10th is the first phase and 11th and 12th is the second phase. Here it is covering the age group of 14 to 18 years with greater depth and greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspiration, like what they want to be in future and all. These will be considered when they come to the secondary stage level. A greater flexibility and student choice of subjects is planned to being introduced, and option to exit at grade 10 and re-enter a later stage in grade 11. This is one main thing that NEP wants to introduce to us. Now, let us quickly look at fundamental literacy and numeracy. This is something which actually NEP is trying to concentrate when it comes to primary classes. When it comes to primary classes, foundation literacy and numeracy is something NEP is really concentrating on. And for example, I could say, child would be able to read with comprehension, write on his own, basic mathematical operations, learn basic life skills. These are the things that they want to achieve by the child reaches, or by the end of class 3. A child has to achieve all these things: fundamental foundation literacy and numeracy. It's very simple. And again, foundational literacy is the ability to read and understand, comprehend simple English. That is foundational literacy. And foundational numeracy is something where the child will be able to have a clear sense of numbers. Like they will be able to recognize 2-digit numbers, they will be able to perform simple addition and subtraction, and the child should be able to, understand what is exactly is a single-digit number, why exactly we have a 2-digit number, why exactly we have a 3-digit number. All these kind of things the child would be able to understand by the end of grade 3, class 3. That is fundamental literacy and foundational literacy and numeracy that NEP wants to concentrate upon when it comes to the primary sections. Like these are like a quick, in mission mode, you can just have a quick glance at it and understand. For achieving that, libraries, it is asking libraries to be leveraged and, national repository, high quality teaching and learning resources. We have Diksha now, wherein we have lots of, resources available. 3-month play-based school for class 1, early learning, like reading, writing, and mathematics, focus on that. Book promotions, national mission, foundational skills. So it is like, kind of in mission mode, they have represented whatever we were talking about in the previous slide. Like language combinations. Yes. Now, let me tell you, as per compulsory Telugu Act right now, all boards have to impart Telugu as second or third language along with English from the academic year 21-22. Action will be taken on non-compliant schools. So as per the government orders, we have this combination of languages that are provided by our school, and I just want to tell you exactly that there are group A and group B, where basically language, the first language will be English. The second language, if taken as Telugu, the third language will automatically become Hindi, and if the second language is chosen as Hindi, the third language will automatically be Telugu. Now, student can choose any combination like group A or group B, any one of them. It is the student's choice. But the suggestion would be given is the students who have Telugu as mother tongue would preferably select languages from group A, because it is easy for comprehending and it is easy for the child to understand. And preferably the people who are having transferable jobs would be, selecting group B. That's what we suggest, and also we recommend the parents to do. So these are the two groups where you can select the language combinations from for now. And as I said, second language, if it is Telugu, automatically the third language will be Hindi. And if the second language is Hindi, automatically the third language will become Telugu. Right now, Safal. This is something which actually Narendra Modi has recently introduced, like structural assessment for analyzing learning. Structural assessment. It it is something which we want. NEP especially wants all the children to learn and understand whatever is being done in the classes. It's a competency based assessment that is for grade 3, 5, and 8. And it's been introduced by CBSE, and it will be used to assess the progress of foundational skills and basic learning outcomes among the students, like how the child is performing, how exactly what kind of places the child has to concentrate upon when he is going to the next grade. All these are coming under SAFL, where they have an assessment plan for grade 3, 5, and 8, right? It is competency based, just like I said, and it affects the measures, it measures the effectiveness of the school, and it identifies the areas of intervention at a classroom level, like where the children are lagging, what exactly the children can change upon, what exactly are the areas of improvement. All this can be considered upon here. See, grade 3 is one stage, grade 5 is one stage, and grade 8 is one stage. All these days we had according to the old academic structure, we had only grade 10 examination, right? And this exam is not something like, something to be afraid of, upon, because it is like competency based, as I said. I'm really sorry, parents. That was some, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so it is not like, it's an examination where the child has to fear about it. It is, as told, competency based. It is just to check the knowledge of the kids, not actually to check whether the child has memorized everything that he has learned. That is the kind of examination SAFL is targeting for. And yes, these are the pilots, SAFL pilots for this particular year. SAFL will be conducted on pilot basis on CBSE schools for students grading 3, 5, and 8 during the academic year 21-22. We just told about it. The assessment will track schools' progress on core competencies and include the following subjects and languages. When it comes to grade 3, pilot assessment for languages and mathematics offered in the school's language of instruction for Hindi or English medium, whatever it is, they will be concentrating on the language and mathematics for grade 3. When it comes to grade 5, assessment of language, EVS, and mathematics. When it comes to grade 8, the assessment for language, science, and math will be done in the medium of instruction for that particular school. But this is not going to be immediately affected, because in the first year, that is this year, it will be conducted only in a sample set of schools for grade 3, 5, and 8. And slowly it will be, affected for other things or other schools, slowly, but not immediately. And thank you, parents, for your valuable time. I hope I was able to give you an insight